Well, thank you very much for joining us. This is day 2 of Indaba. Are we alive? We're live. Thank you very much for joining us. This is day 2 of Africa's Indaba 2019, and we are coming back live to you from the ICC, Durban ICC. And every sector, as we know, deserves disruptors to move it forward. The question is, does the disruption in the tourism sector make enough to move it to the next frontier? And what is the next frontier? We have disruptors here with us, joining us for a conversation around the movement in the tourism sector. And I'm going to ask them to introduce themselves from my right, my extreme right. Hello, Thokozani.
Hello, how are you doing?
I'm well, thank you. So you are from NEOAVIATION.
Yeah, I'm from
And what do you guys do?
I like to call it an air taxi, right? So think of Uber, but it's in the air, right? We just selling time. So if you value your time, right, you can use us, right? We use almost over 150 airports in South Africa. It's a non-scheduled flight, so you could be in Tree City on the same day. That's exactly what we offer. Yeah.
Sure. So, Semadi, you are in the township tourism sector,
tourism, yes,
correct?
yes.
The hub presents Alex.
In Alexandra, yes.
What do you guys do?
So basically, what the hub presents Alexandra does, we market Alexandra with all its arts and all the people in the arts and tour packages. We market it on a greater platform like this Travel Indaba 2019. So what we do, we package basically all these offerings that we find within the township, because Alexandra is one of the oldest townships in SA. It deserves a platform to actually have people to come in and try invest or assist Alexandra in growing environmentally, you know, the social way also, and also to link Alexandra to now the history and heritage of South Africa. We feel in Alex that SA has actually left out Alexandra in the history books, whereas it's a place where it was Mandela's first home when he moved from Eastern Cape. So we're trying to rewrite history. We're trying to sort out the narrative of the stories around Alexandra, just so that everyone can understand exactly why township dynamics are different in every single township that you visit. So we're just here for change. We're just here to change all these township things.
Neil, you from RoomRaccoon. What do you guys do?
So we are an all-in-one hotel software system for the smaller boutique places, because we ourselves also have our own boutique hotel, and we found that most systems are not really doing the job for yourself to make things automate and make it look fancy. And what we focus on is a booking button on the website, a channel manager that works together with Booking.com, Agoda, Expedia, TripAdvisor. So when you get a booking, it comes straight into our calendar, so you can't get an overbooking. And why we are here is because I used to work, when I did my internship in South Africa, when I fell in love with Cape Town especially, I worked in a hotel and they were using a system, and it was a bit outdated and it was lots of manual work, and it wasn't really meeting the customer journey of our clients. So that's the reason why we are changing the market here for the South African industry.
It's sounding to me like, I mean, I think it's only Thokozani who owns anything. You don't own anything. You're selling people someone else's home, living in space,
yes,
and history.
Home galleries. I sell product offerings from locals who can't access the target markets that they want. So I'm that voice of reasoning basically with the people that they can't get to.
It gets quite tricky because this is part of disruption. Disruption is something completely new, right?
Yes.
And how do you marry the relationship between the customer and the community? So the customer wants to see Alex with all its warts. It's part of the experience, right?
Yes, yes.
The community is saying, I mean, are you exploiting our really difficult life here? Is that what you're doing? You're making money off the fact that there are rats everywhere.
What we are doing, we're trying to include the community in what's happening in tourism. Tourism is one solution that all townships, basically, all townships in SA need, because we create jobs with tourism. If we include our community in all the offerings and all the packages that we have in all these townships, they'll also feel more free to actually accept tourists coming in. I mean, there's this facade and stigma about Alexandra being violent and dirty and filthy, which actually is a problem for us in the industry. once we actually educate our locals, our people from the township, that tourism is actually there to help our economy, it will be much easier now for them to actually find jobs, because they'll be creating their own jobs right around the community, and it's more sustainable like that. There's no more handouts we're looking for. We're helping ourselves. We're circulating all this money in one network for longer.
And something like that is really necessary, because I used to work in Cape Town too, and people that come from all over Europe, America, they want to see this real experience. For example, Kailicha in Cape Town, or then Alex in Johannesburg. This is what the world has to see too, which is, I think, a great experience, that people know what is happening. But also, when I was in Kailicha, for example, I loved seeing all these children dancing with each other, which I would have wished that I did that in the past. So I think that is something very cool what they're doing.
The aim is to actually make our tourists be that local. They mustn't act like it, be it, because the communities can see this. If you are a person who looks like you out, they're actually going to attack you on that. You're in problems for that. But then now, if you act like you're part of the community, believe me, the rest of the community is going to find out about you. Wherever you go, they're going to love and respect you. They're going to help you find your next stop that you actually want to get to.
So for you, Thokozani, I mean, airlines are shutting down every single day. Yeah. Anyone who's listening to you is thinking, this is the end of the world. You know, what are you doing? There is fear as well, because of the fact that we've been seeing crashes. So obviously people will be questioning what airlines, aircraft you're using. The fuel price is going up.
Yeah.
So as a disruptor, how difficult is that?
Well, look, the market on its own, it's quite a difficult market in any case, right? But one of the things that we actually using a fuel-efficient aircraft, right? The safety aspect, the aircraft is actually have a parachute that will hold the entire plane, right? So if, let's say, the engine fail or whatever the case may be, it could hold the entire plane up to the ground. That's the best feature that we have. It's a very luxury aircraft. I call it a GTS Porsche in the sky, right? It's got leather seat, aircon, NAS avionics, right? Autopilot, right? You touch more on how difficult the industry is. It is difficult because one of the biggest input costs is around the fuel. But we're using a fuel-efficient aircraft. We charge 18 Rand per kilometer. We're changing the game. So just to add on that as well, so our aim is to connect big hub to small hubs, right? You land at Shaka International Airport or Tambo, you want to go to the outskirts of the city. That's exactly what you want to do. In the future, we want to partner with bigger airlines as well. So if you stay in Limpopo, how long does it take you to go to Tambo, for example? Another 2-3 hours. So we want to integrate into a system as well, where a person can actually book through Emirates, Kulula, British Airways, right? And then we can be able to pick up that person and drop them into the bigger hub. That's exactly what we're trying to do.
So Neil, I mean, everyone's talking about money being tight. Where do you make your money? Who's paying you for your service? Is it the customer or is it the hotel manager?
Actually, that's a cool question, because the hotel pays a subscription to RoomRaccoon. However, if you compare us, for example, with competition, we are way more expensive. Not more expensive, because we add also way more value, and that's a great thing that you say that, because everybody's really cost focused, but you should actually be focused more on value, because what can you improve the customer experience with? How can you save time on, for example, manual work and sending out emails for a booking confirmation, preparing a housekeeping list, which I was doing every day at 10 o'clock till 11 in the hotel I was working for. Which means that it improves the customer journey. You're going to save a lot of time, and in the end, that's going to improve the whole business. So yes, I understand the question in regards to pricing, but I think it's in the end more important about the value that somebody can create. And that's RoomRaccoon will be able to save lots of money, time, and make it so much more professional.
So how do you think the next frontier will benefit from your disruption? What needs to happen to take the industry forward?
To make everything automated, like we as millennials, when we make a booking, for example, we want to know in the next second that the booking is confirmed. Not that you have to wait, somebody is going to process your credit card transaction and then send out 2 hours later an email, oh, thank you very much for your booking, it's confirmed. That's not what we want anymore. So that's all automated. Just like preparing your housekeeping list. Yeah, you want it all in the system because the system knows who's checking in, checking out, who has booked the twin bed or who has booked a vegetarian, that you know you have to prepare breakfast differently. One click and it's all there. And that's what we as, I think, millennials all want. And I don't think only millennials want that. Everybody wants just a seamless integration with everything that saves time and in the end money.
And for you, how do you think that your business can move the tourism industry forward?
When it comes to township tourism, basically the township, in essence, what they need is associations. Township businesses and business owners and entrepreneurs need to actually come together, unite, and have one voice to whoever they want to get that assistance from. So unity is what's needed. Associations are needed. In Alexandra, we formed the Greater Alexandra Tourism and Heritage Association. It's been running since 2017, and we are making a noise right now. We're in partnership with the likes of the Sandton Tourism Associations, South African Tourism, Gauteng Tourism Authority, Joburg Tourism. But it's because we're united as tour operators and product offerings, and we have one voice. With this one voice, we're hitting all the walls down because we can't be silenced like that. United, we have a greater voice. So we need to come together.
But I also know that when you're a disruptor, you are unstabling other sectors and other people in the markets, right?
Yes.
I mean, I'm sure tourism, what do you call these travel agents resent you completely. I'm sure that's, you're a problem. I'm sure, are you getting a buy-in, for instance, from you, from the community who you want to clean the streets?
Yes, there's campaigns that now we've started in the township, but it's because we're uniting. We know exactly what we need to have a better Alexandra. We need a cleaner environment. We need proper toilet and sanitation. You know what I'm saying? It's hard for tourists to come into a dirty place. Filth is associated with chaos. Why would you want to risk your life now going to a chaotic place? So if we fix up our spaces around us, it's easier now to bring in the traffic. We've got the people who are interested right now because we've been consistent and passionate and patient with the journey that we've been on. And it's actually paying off right now because the community is now understanding why we should be there as an organization. We managed to also open the Alexandra Museum, which has been closed for 16 years. So, I mean, if an association which has been registered since 2017 can open a museum that's been closed for 16 years with reasons that we can't even mention, you know what I'm saying? It means that it's powerful enough to actually bring more change. So we need more partnership with the taxi associations, with the kids associations. We need to start registering youth in tourism, women in tourism in the township. Women need to stand up and actually start working because we need our mothers to start leading and being motherly.
Thokozani, with you too, you are a disruptor. We've seen with the real Uber that it's not easy. Traditional transport systems push back. With you are saying you want to work with traditional airlines. Are you welcome?
Well, yeah, because look, I'm not really in a competition, right? So for me, I'm looking at myself as a feeder into their business, right? And I've seen that there's a lot of people who are traveling especially from overseas. They come here for business. They're probably here a day or two, and they're saying, look, I want to go and see the Big Five. How do you do that? You're gonna have to get into a taxi or whatever, the shuttle for 3-4 hours going to Kruger National Park. So I come in and say, look, you could be there in the next 20 minutes, right? And then it makes it easier now for the tourists, guys, where they're here, they're in Sandton, whatever the case may be, to get to their destination and enjoy themselves as well while they're here for that short space of time. So yeah, I'm really not competing with anyone. I'm just like filling that gap that was not being fulfilled.
And making that experience in South Africa.
It's an experience, yeah.
Better.
Exactly.
So we've spoken about communities and customers. What about government? Is there any way that you feel that you could be better supported?
Not specifically. I think the government, in terms of tourism, I live myself in Cape Town. I think the government has done so much for especially the Western Cape, Garden Route, Eastern Cape, and I see Johannesburg's actually also picking up very well in Durban too. I think they know really what they're busy with, and they have invested so much time and money in making the cities beautiful to attract international business. And if you look in Europe, everybody knows about Cape Town. Everybody wants to go to Cape Town. Everybody's jealous that I can live in this amazing country. So no, I think tourism, the government of tourism is doing very, very, very well.
Is it the same for you?
It is the same. The government has been helping. I mean, the tourism in Indaba, the travel in Indaba, I've been coming to it since 2016. But then each and every year learning something new about which buyers I should target, because I know that they're willing to come to a space like Alex, which product offerings I should give them, because each and every country wants different things. The tourists from those countries actually want to see different things, be it heritage or history or lifestyle or food. We must know exactly what to offer them so that we become a consistent and a proper seller.
Which brings me to my next question for you, Thokozani.
Yeah.
Does this kind of convention, this Indaba, help? What benefit is a place like coming to a travel Indaba?
So for me, actually, it's the first time we're here, right? And we've seen a huge support from people, especially guys who are owning the lodges just outside of, populated areas. They're like, we need people, we need to be able to get people to our destination safer, quicker. I think your service is quite a good service, that we can use. So I'm having a lot of meeting with these guys now, looking at how we can integrate and work together. So from the government perspective, I think I look at the service delivery aspect. So government officials can get to different destinations on the same day and be able to speak to the people and meet to the people on the same day, rather than using your scheduled flights where they will spend more time on the bigger airports, but to get to smaller areas, they can use us.
What I find interesting is that no one's saying money, which is a good thing. No one's saying we want money. You guys are self-starters. You guys are self-disciplined. You want, I suppose, more relationships rather than the money.
That's it.
Wow.
The partnerships and the collaborations.
And I think if other people will benefit from it, just like with us, if my client is successful, I'm successful. And that's in partnership and network. And I see in the older days, it's more about, yes, selling your product and just leave it and don't have that connection with your client. And I think that is something beautiful in terms of networking here too. You meet your current clients, you meet new people, they see you face to face, and you can be direct to each other and say, yes, I can help you with this, or I can't. And I think it's not about money anymore nowadays. It's about the experience and what you can offer for someone.
Exactly.
So what is the next frontier in the tourism industry?
Automation, creating that experience and love.
For me, from my perspective, I'm selling time, right? So if you value your time, right, come talk to me.
With us, it's change. We need to change the situations that we're in, but then we have to now start using what we were blessed with, our brains. We have to start thinking proper, because the solution is uniting. It's how we got our freedom, 94. It's what we had to keep throughout, but then we broke apart and we're working in our silos. We need to come back together again and unite. That's the only way. That's change.
Exactly.
So I could be right in saying that you guys are selling convenience, and the theme of this year is your own stories.
That's it.
Are we on the same page?
Yeah, that's
definitely, yeah.
Well, that's it. Let's do this again a little bit later at about 3 o'clock. Join us on our Facebook page, 702 Facebook page, and the hashtag is Indaba 2019, Indaba 19, and our Twitter handle is @Radio702. Thanks very much for joining us, and we'll do it again later at about 3 o'clock.